Ray Ortiz.
Good afternoon. My name is Raymond Ortiz. I am the proud father of 5 children. My youngest is currently recommended for adoption with DCF. I'm also a proud veteran, and I am come here today to speak on this issue. Excuse me. Connecticut's family court is faced with a grave situation. We face a broken system that is last in family court reform. A system in which cases are dragged out while children suffer detachment from capable, loving parents and relatives, where the attorney ad litems hold the power to decide the future of a child without ever meeting with the child, pediatrician, teacher, or mental health provider. A system that allows false allegations to hold the weight of proven evidence, allegations that lead to unjustified revocation of parental rights. A system that awards sole custody of a child to a mother who tests positive for 3 illegal drugs. A system that supports an ex parte restraining order as a father can lose custody of their child while a hearing and due process, excuse me, while a hearing and due process is ignored. A court system that allows a parent custody after 4 previous removals within 18 months. A system that still alienates fathers as capable caretakers, a clear violation of the 14th Amendment. The courts are not alone in this tragedy. Unlawful parental alienation continues to exist at the Department of Children and Families, Connecticut. DCF has a great influence on judges by utilizing the power of the state. That caseworkers can abuse the power without risk of accountability through the power of immunity. That the same power can be used to alter and manipulate case notes that influence the outcome of cases. That a fundamental liberty is placed at risk when perjury is used to take a child from a parent. That a child's life can be altered through the unqualified, inexperienced, and overwhelming task to make an appropriate clinical recommendation. That this agency has the power to alter lives with services provided by unqualified, non-mental health professionals. Budgetary and fiscal issues should not be remedied at the expense and welfare of children or the vulnerability of families in crisis. Change is needed before we all wake up tomorrow morning to hear of another tragedy and another child lost to a broken system. Who is providing this voice for our children? The government exists to protect our rights and protect our most precious resource, our children and their families. In closing, the department testified in a court session, excuse me. This is difficult. I'm sorry.
That's all right, go ahead.
Of course, I speak of my daughter, who's only 3.5 years old, and I just ask, what about us? What about changes for us? Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Representative Gonzalez?
Thank you. How long you been going through the course? And take your time, here.
My child has been removed 4 times in her 3.5 years on this earth.
4 times.
4 times.
And what are the allegations?
All 4 times it was mom. Unfortunately, mom was involved in substance abuse issues. But as I came to try and claim my child, allegations were brought up to the court. Mom made some allegations. All allegations were found unfounded through a Superior Court judge, but DCF chose to ignore that and never gave me a fair chance to parent my child, not once. And I have no arrest, no history of abuse with my other 4 children. I raised 4 other children successfully, half the time as a single parent. And I just don't understand how allegations can hold the strength that it does here in the state of Connecticut.
So right now, your biggest problem is DCF.
That's the only problem.
That's the only problem. Okay. And how long?
We're going on 4 years. She was brought into the system at 2 months. I called DCF for help, and it totally backfired on me.
So, okay, you haven't signed any paper giving up your rights?
Absolutely not.
Okay, and do you have legal representation?
I've gone through 4 lawyers, and I'm representing myself right now. And they have recommended adoption with a non-relative, which I just don't understand. I have 6 willing and able, qualified family members that stepped up to the plate when they removed the child last year. And 3 of them are New York State qualified, certified foster parents. The department never even called them to screen them.
Okay, so the problem is not the court system, and this informational hearing, it is about the court system.
Well, I do believe that the court system is influenced by the recommendations made by DCF allegations.
Yeah.
So that judge did release and grant sole custody to a mother after testing positive for illegal substances, gave her sole custody, while I walked away with nothing. Nothing. It was an ex parte restraining order that wasn't even heard, and it was from another town. And 6 weeks later, in the Danbury courts, I proved that those allegations were unfounded, they were dismissed, and when I brought that dismissal back to the Bridgeport court and DCF, it was like nothing ever happened.
And you from Waterbury?
No, I'm actually from New York.
Oh, from New York, and they're handling the case here.
Well, what happened was, when I first discovered of the substance abuse, Mom took the baby overnight and fled to Connecticut to her parents' house. That's when I called DCF, and that's how DCF became involved. New York jumped on it. They were coming there the next morning. But by 5 in the morning, she was in the car and gone to Connecticut.
So your case is here.
Yeah, after 6 months, the child gained residence in Connecticut and made it extremely difficult for me.
All right. Well, don't sign any paper. Most of the time, that's what they do. They try to force the parent to sign, to give away the parental right after 18 months. Keep fighting.
Absolutely. Thank you for giving me the time to speak.